So it's been about 3 years since I dropped out of university, and I'm going to be honest with you, I still don't know what my final destination is. I still don't have the perfectly drawn up roadmap of where I'm supposed to end up. But the truth is, I learned that you don't need the full map to start walking. You simply just need the courage to take the first few steps. There was a quote I read a few years back when I dropped out of university, and it goes, "You can't claim to be brave if you can't cross the ocean without losing sight of the shore." And that stuck with me for quite a bit of time because I spent the past few years diving deeper than ever into the online money making space. And let me tell you something, this is something that most people will never say out loud, but entrepreneurship, it's not for everyone. It looks easy from the outside and it looks glamorous, it looks like freedom, but when you step into the online money making space, you very quickly realize that the spark is going to test you in every way possible. So if you're thinking about dropping out of university and pursuing an online business, just think carefully, because entrepreneurship is for everyone, but not everyone is built for entrepreneurship, because it demands a lot. It demands patience when you feel lost. It demands sacrifice when you basically have nothing to give, and it demands belief on days where the results are not showing up, and it demands a level of self-discipline that your lecturer is not going to teach you, your parents are not going to teach you, that no boss will ever force this onto you. Discipline is like a muscle, so you either build that muscle or you end up crumbling. But here's the part that kept me going. Even without a clear end goal, every day you just choose to bet on yourself. You grow and you start learning skills, and it compounds. Every failure teaches you something that no textbook is ever going to replicate, because every small win begins to remind you that you're just capable of more than you think. I must however warn you though that if you're going to commit to this path, you're going to outgrow a lot of your friends, you're going to outgrow a lot of your habits, and you will outgrow versions of yourself that you thought were permanent. But that's the price that you have to pay. But the reward, I promise you, it's something that most people will never get to experience, because you get to build a life that comes from you. You get to wake up in a world that you created, and you get to realize that your future was never something you had to find. It's going to be something that you have to build. So if you're confused about your direction, if you feel behind and feel like you're not moving without any clarity, trust me, it's normal. It's part of the journey. Nobody has it figured out at the start. What matters is that you just simply start, like Mark Zuckerberg says. What matters is that you keep going when most people stop. And what matters is that you stay in the game long enough for it to pay you back. Because entrepreneurship doesn't reward the smartest person, it rewards the most persistent person, the one who stays when it's boring, and the one who keeps learning when it's difficult, the one who keeps believing when the world is silent. So if you're on this path, or if you're thinking about stepping into it, just understand this. Uncertainty, it's not a sign that you should quit. It's literally just the entrance fee to a life that most people will never ever get to experience. And if you can stomach that, you're not just going to build a business, you will inevitably build yourself.